less now that this video is uploaded. It's honestly kind of surreal that it's been almost 2 whole years since I left Montreal and moved to London. And only 9 of those months were in the before times. I'm not gonna do a whole look back over the last 2 years. That's been done. Here, I'm gonna focus on the recent, the now, and what's next. What is happening with this title? What is happening with my visa? What is happening to me? This is the video where I at least try to explain all of that. So, what have I been doing in 2021 since the last video, since the UK strain outbreak? Well, not much really. I wake up between the hours of 7 and 8, I actually get out of bed between the hours of 8 and 9, if I'm lucky. I work out with my resistance bands, I shower, I make coffee, I make breakfast while listening to the news, I work in my bedroom, I have lunch, I continue working till 6, I cook, I eat, I video edit, or at least attempt to, I sleep. Also, ambulance sirens, I listen to those, that's my playlist. So loud. Every damn day. It is endless, it is stale, it is never ending. It is also not unique in any way. I'm sure most people have had some variation of this for the last 6 months. I just wanted to document it so I can look back on how bizarre this time was. This third lockdown was by far the toughest. The first one was new and as exciting as it was scary. I mean, I nearly lost my job, but that's just part of the fun, you know? The second one barely felt like a lockdown. The third, scary new UK variant. Everyone here tries to label it the Kent variant, but let's be real. This is on all of you. Borders locking down again. And it was winter. A cold, grey, dark, and soul-suckingly depressing winter. I've never experienced weather where the clouds are so thick that only the faintest nuance of sunlight can make it through. The world wasn't just grey, it was saturated. I don't know how people survive here. And I was properly alone for most of it. The only places I existed were my apartment, the supermarket, and the road in between. That's it. For 5 months. My only semblance of social interaction was listening to the Triple J Hack podcast from back in Australia. I could be literally anywhere on the planet right now and it would not make a difference. It's almost like I'm in Australia, except there's a lockdown and the weather's terrible. It was rough, but the winter is now over and the second wave has mostly passed. Now it's May and my visa expires on the 21st of May. That is not much time. So what is happening with that whole situation, Lashan? Well, a lot of things at the same time. What I'm trying to do is pursue and assess all possible options to stay and or move somewhere else. And there's a lot to handle here, given the context that we are still in a pandemic. It's not as straightforward as looking where I can go. I am in the process of getting sponsored with my company, but if the past is any indication, who knows how that's going to turn out. So I am looking at other options. If the UK doesn't work out, I've toyed with the idea of moving to Berlin, of moving to Paris, or going back to Canada with PR, which I now meet all of the requirements to do, which is great news because I did not have that before. But the issue with all of this is that it's not about what I want, it's about what is possible with this pandemic in the way of things. Right now, Germany isn't letting in anybody from the UK because of the UK variant, so I cannot move to Berlin. Right now, express entry PR applications for Canada are the lowest priority in terms of visa processing. So I can't realistically move back to Canada. My only backup plan, which still works, to the best of my knowledge, is Paris, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Mais c'est pas la pire chose du monde. And for those of you wondering why I haven't mentioned moving back to amazing, wondrous, maskless, COVID-free Australia, even if I wanted to do that, which I don't, I can't. Quick question, do any of you have a spare £12,000 laying around? Because that's how much a one-way ticket from London to Sydney costs. One way, one bag, probably still gonna get cancelled for months on end before you actually hop on a flight. It's a plane, it's a helicopter. That can't get me back to Australia. And once you make it back home, add another $3,000 for hotel quarantine. Plus COVID tests to even hop on the flight in the first place. Every time it gets cancelled until you actually make it back home, which can add up very quickly. I am effectively stateless. My passport, human rights, what are they worth? What are like fundamental human rights anyway? It's not like my home country's in violation of them against Australian citizens. That's definitely not happening. Even the sponsorship is such a maybe. If it goes through, it'll likely be for 3 years. But in parallel to this, for the last year and a bit, Australia has been hammering out a trade deal with the UK, and part of this has been negotiating ways to make it easier for Australians to live and work in the UK and vice versa, specifically mentioning my visa that I'm currently on and the possibility of extending or even renewing the visa, which would be amazing and I would take in a heartbeat. And a draft agreement of this trade deal got signed just a couple of weeks ago and will be finalized in June this year. So if I lock myself into an expensive 3-year sponsorship, an easier and or cheaper way to stay in the UK could materialize during my application process or the first year of my visa. See how many variables I'm trying to keep track of here? Every single direction I can take has its own degree of uncertainty. It is a completely different ballgame than pre-COVID or the end of my Montreal visa. So what if all these options fall through, Lashan? What are you going to do then? You can't even go back to Australia. Glad you asked, Lashan. So, as I mentioned in my UK visa video, there's this thing called exceptional assurance, where people can get extensions to their visa in the case that they can't get home. Like me. I send them an email with my circumstances, a screenshot of the £12,000 flight, waited 3 weeks, and bam! Got an extension until the end of June, and I'm allowed to live and work on the conditions of my old visa. And considering the state of Australia and the world right now, I could probably keep getting these extensions over and over again for a long time to come, which is great. I won't get deported, but there is a catch. As soon as I pass the original expiry date on my visa, in order to keep these rights, I cannot leave the country at all. At the moment, this does make a difference since very few countries will even let you in from the UK anyway, but I don't want to stay on this forever. This just buys me time. If possible, I would like to enjoy some of this year's summer once I'm vaccinated. At the moment, while I would prefer to stay in the UK, my number one goal is, no matter what happens, I want to stay here long enough to get vaccinated. After going through all of this and paying through the nose in taxes, I feel like that's the least I should get. And if I left beforehand, I feel like I would fall through the cracks of whatever system there is and be forgotten in the rollout. Might as well get what my taxes paid for, right? Compared to how I felt in Montreal at the same point in my visa, I am not stressed out about this at all, which is a weird thing to say. I am very go with the flow. If everything works out, great. If it doesn't, that's okay. I'll pack my things and I'll move somewhere else. It's fine. Honestly, I feel like my friends and even complete strangers are more worried about my situation than I am. I don't know if this is a good thing or me growing up. I found a gray hair on my head the other day. I'm getting old. And weirdly, after 4, 5, who knows how many months of lockdown, monotony, this is kind of exciting in a way. I've tried to explain this to my friends before, but my stability is instability, if that makes any sense. I think there's something wrong with me. Not knowing where the hell my life is going is my element. This is fun. Maybe this is why I keep ending up in these situations. So that is my current situation in a very convoluted nutshell. Hope you found it interesting. Like it if you did. Leave me a comment on what you think I should do, because I don't know what I should do. Or if you have a job lead in Paris, because why not? If you do, let me know, because who knows where I'm gonna end up. It's definitely not gonna be Australia. Also, if you're in the same situation as me, be sure to check the link in the description to apply for exceptional assurance. You should definitely do it as soon as possible, as soon as you are able to. Highly recommend. I've been really busy with other projects recently, but I've got a bunch of videos coming up that you've been asking for a lot, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss those, and I will see you in the next one. Lashan out. I don't know why I say Lashan out, but I can't think of anything else.